Tuesday morning, June 7th, the Emergency Management and Disaster Administration Bureau recovered the bodies of two siblings, a man and a woman, who died June 6th, in the El HIPPIE waterfalls, in Naguabo, Puerto Rico. The authorities found the two bodies, although at the moment, they only removed the body of the young man from the area, via helicopter. The commissioner, Nino Correa Filomeno, explained that a young man died while trying to rescue his sister, who slipped from one of the stones and hit her head. The deceased were between 24 and 26 years old. The young man's body was recovered in the early morning hours, but it needed to be removed from the area with the use of a helicopter, given the complexity of the mission by land. At the time of this report, they have not recovered the young woman's body.
Tuesday, June 7th, the Puerto Rico Police Bureau processed 60 arrest warrants this morning in an operation called Rescate de la Montaña, or Mountain Rescue, which was carried out in several municipalities on the island. Some of the people to be arrested were already in prison, and others have died since their arrest warrants were issued. Those arrested, allegedly, have criminal records for committing serious crimes, such as sales or possession of controlled substances and weapons, as well as robbery, theft of motor vehicles, carjacking and domestic violence. The police commissioner stated, "The individuals we removed from circulation caused fear and anxiety in the communities with their illicit activities. The sale of controlled substances, at all levels from bottom to top, generates more illegal activities and networks of violence. For this reason, we will continue to fight, as has been demonstrated today."
June 4th, a man, who has not been identified, was shot dead on Saturday night, on the premises of a business, in the Miyi neighborhood, in Loiza, Puerto Rico. The deceased was described as being 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 190 pounds, and with short curly black hair. At the time of the crime, he was wearing a gray t-shirt, long blue jeans, yellow sports shoes, and a gray Puerto Rican cap. Paramedics from Medina Ambulance attended the scene, and confirmed the absence of vital signs. Agent Carla Milan, from the Homicide Division of the Carolina Criminal Investigation Corps, took charge of the investigation, together with Prosecutor Juan Dominguez, who also ordered the removal and transfer of the body to the Institute of Forensic Sciences.
June 7th, a woman was shot to death, Tuesday morning, on Buenos Aires Street, intersection with Los Angeles Street, in front of Central Park Apartments, in Santurce, the police reported. According to a preliminary report, a call to the 911 emergency system alerted the authorities to gunshots in the area. Once on the scene, officers found the bullet-ridden body of a woman, who has not been identified. The police described the female as between 30 and 40 years old, white complexion, long brown hair, approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall. She was wearing a purple shirt, long white pants and white sneakers. Agent Jose Flores, assigned to the Homicide Division of the San Juan Criminal Investigation Corps, and Prosecutor Betzaida Quirones investigated these events.
The police reported, a man was murdered, Monday afternoon, in the Buena Vista neighborhood of Hato Ray, San Juan, Puerto Rico. According to preliminary information, the authorities received an alert through the ShotSpotter system about gunshots in the area. Later, they found the body of the deceased on the pavement of F Street, who had several gunshot wounds that caused his death at the scene. The deceased was described, by the police, as approximately 30 years old, white complexion, and black hair.
June 3rd, a man and his 15-year-old daughter received lacerations in different parts of the body after an individual fired several shots from another car, in an incident of road rage, recorded Friday afternoon, on Sanchez Castaño Avenue, in Carolina, Puerto Rico. The preliminary report of the police maintains that the 44-year-old victim was traveling in his vehicle when the driver of another car made an improper lane change that almost caused a traffic accident. The injured party proceeded to make an improper lane change against the other driver. The individual, who was driving an SUV-type vehicle, pulled out a firearm, and fired several shots. Fortunately, the victim and his daughter were not hit by the bullets.
June 3, Juan Miguel Castillo Martinez, the man convicted, along with Jacqueline Lugo Colon, for the murder of Edmill De Leon Garcia, in April 2021, died, on Friday, in prison, confirmed the Department of Correction and Rehabilitation. Castillo Martinez, 37, was being held in maximum security, in the Bayamon prison. The death was discovered at 11:55 p.m., on Friday, June 3. According to the police bureau, the convict was found, sitting on the floor, and with a cell phone in one of his hands. The authorities reported that the inmate did not show signs of violence. The convict faced 127 years in prison for the murder, which occurred at the Yes Motel, in Carolina, Puerto Rico. Ms. De Leon Garcia was an employee who was tasked with evicting the couple for non-payment. The pair followed the victim, arguing, eventually pulling out a gun and shooting her.
June 7, the police confirmed that the alleged leader of the gang was also the criminal most wanted in an operation last week at the Punta Salinas resort in Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. Edwin Rivera Perez, alias Bubu, was also the driver of the vehicle when Isadora Nieves Cruz was murdered, also known as Pinky CURVY, on October 18, 2020. The police intervention, in which Edwin Rivera Perez, or Bubu, was targeted, occurred on May 29, resulting in the arrest of 12 people, and the death of 2 alleged members of the gang, one of them a minor. Bubu, meanwhile, evaded capture. Of those arrested, 2 were indicted by a federal grand jury for violations of the United States Weapons Act. According to the police, 7 firearms were seized in the operation, some of them altered to fire automatically. They also seized 5 vehicles, 2 of them stolen, one of which was carjacked. The popular social influencer, Pinky CURVY, was killed October 18, 2020, while a passenger in the truck you see, pictured here. Her boyfriend, at the time, was the now wanted gang leader, Bubu. The truck was riddled with bullets, and Pinky was fatally injured. Bubu was injured, but survived. He is now suspected of drug trafficking on the island. In February 2019, Pinky CURVY, or Ms. Nieves Cruz, turned herself into the Federal Bureau of Investigation, after a federal grand jury accused her of belonging to the powerful criminal organization of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Contras, which is an alleged drug trafficking organization.
June 8, the police reported the arrest of Raynaldo Oimedo Huertas, alias Tito, 24 years old. Agents from the Bureau of Intelligence and Arrests captured one of the most wanted in Rio Grande, Puerto Rico. Tito was transferred to the general headquarters in Hato Ray, San Juan. The Bureau indicated that Raynaldo Oimedo Huertas faces charges of attempted murder, as well as violations of the law on arms and controlled substances. According to preliminary information, Oimedo Huertas allegedly shot an agent from the Carolina Arrest Unit while he was carrying out his duties. Bail was set at $600,000.
Friday, June 3, firefighters continued their work to extinguish the forest fire that broke out near the mayor's office in Toa Baja. Thursday, June 2, reported the Bureau of the Fire Department. The fire was brought under control and did not pose a threat to residences or other structures. The Municipal Office for Emergency Management of Toa Baja maintains a surveillance shift in the area, and firefighters will patrol preventative rounds. The mayor of Toa Baja, Bernardo Betito Marquez, indicated that the fire was no longer a danger to life or property. The wind changed direction, and now the smoke is moving towards the beach, so it is not affecting nearby communities, he announced through social media. Members of the fire department, together with National Guard personnel, responded quickly to the threat after their activation by Governor Pierluisi. The drought affecting Puerto Rico has led the Aqueduct and Sewer Authority to impose rationing plans in at least 5 municipalities, and it has not ruled out that this number will increase if the outlook does not change. Due to lack of rain, the municipalities of Loiza, Canovanas, Rio Grande, Juncos and Las Piedras have water restrictions, such as use and schedule times of use imposed.
Geofley Jomar Perez, accused of the kidnapping and the murder of a minor at the El Hippopotamus restaurant in San Juan, Puerto Rico, will remain in prison until his trial. Accused for the murder of a teenager kidnapped during a ransom and robbery scheme, will not face the death penalty. The federal prosecutor for the District of Puerto Rico commented on the case of the kidnapping of 3 people from the El Hippopotamus restaurant in Rio Piedras, a suburb of San Juan, between October 30th and 31st, 2021, which culminated in the murder of the teenager, Jesus Francisco Perez. Prosecutor Delgado Hernandez indicated that the defense attorneys will have 60 days for discovery, and the next status hearing is set for October 7th.
June 6, Shirley Vera Barretto, convicted of the murder of her husband, former Police Lieutenant Alvin Quinones Acevedo, was sentenced to 124 years in prison for the homicide that occurred on December 2, 2020, in Moca, Puerto Rico. Mrs. Vera Barretto shot her husband while he was sleeping. However, her lawyers presented the battered woman syndrome as her defense. The jury did not agree and found her guilty on all charges.
Monday, June 6, a jury of 7 men and 5 women declared former Representative Nestor Alonzo Vega guilty on the federal charge of corruption. During the trial, Alexis Torres, who was an employee of the legislator, testified how he handed over money as kickbacks in cash while recording videos that he later handed over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Nestor Alonzo Vega's defense attorney has stated the former representative will appeal the verdict.
June 6, the popular former mayor of Aguas Buenas, Luis Arroyo Chiquez, was sentenced in the federal court to 24 months in prison and 2 years of probation for conspiracy to commit bribery. The former Popular Party municipal leader pled guilty last December to receiving some $270,000 in illegal commissions for awarding a contract to the waste collection company.
June 6, this Friday, the former mayor of Santa Isabel, Enrique Questell Alverado, must appear at the Ponce Judicial Center to face complaints against him after an investigation by the Office of the Panel on the Independent Prosecutor of possible undue influence, among other crimes. Special Independent Prosecutor Nydia Cotto Vivas stated that the process is related to an investigation into the communications that Questell Alverado allegedly had with the former Secretary of Natural Resources, Rafael Machargo, in relation to a complaint that his company, Aquamic, had against the mayor. The authorities had 2 simultaneous investigations against Questell Alverado. The other is related to the appointment of Carmen Rivera Torres as Director of Finances of the City Council and the alleged obstruction by the former mayor to audit the municipality.
June 5, Sunday brought out the sunshine, the music, the costumes and the pride parades on various parts of the island.
Thanks for watching. Here's your weather for the week. Be sure and follow us on Facebook for up-to-date news, weather, business, entertainment, viral videos and more. Thanks for subscribing. Have an amazing week.